Do you? Well,
No Botox here?
this is one of the things I can't quite grasp about it. So there you are. You've got two members of the club here, and I'm not a Christian, so I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's your choice, Mike.
Well, that's not entirely a choice. It's the way you perceive
It
what's
is.
going
It is
on.
your choice.
It is a
Is
choice.
it a choice?
It is.
Well, I can't just take a belief on. I mean,
We were, neither of us, but Phil wasn't forced into it, I wasn't forced into it.
it's a bit like disability. You don't get the choice about being a disabled person. It happens.
Yes,
And I-
absolutely.
and I-
when it happens, you'll understand it, and you'll say, "Now I know what you were talking about,"
Yeah.
and that's great.
Well, that's more so
And
with
it
me
will
with
happen.
disability because I'm becoming more disabled and I'm beginning to experience firsthand what it's like not being able to climb the stairs, which you don't necessarily know until.
Well, living on
The
the
best advice I can give you is to lose the term disabled
Yeah, right.
and go with unable. Unable to climb the stairs
Right.
so well.
I know.
Not disabled.
No, I
just
know.
Unable
It's
to
very
do it.
difficult, isn't it? I mean,
It is.
I've done some training on it all and all that,
Yeah.
but people
Go
don't.
with unable.
People don't quite understand what you're talking about. They don't get it, do they? But it's certain words are no longer allowed to be used in English. There's insulting to people,
Yeah.
and so it is with disability issues. That's the same thing. Certain aspects, you don't say handicapped anymore.
Yeah, handicapped
You don't
is
say
no
crippled.
longer it.
You don't say crippled.
But I don't care what people call me, as long as they understand that I don't give up any of my rights as a human being to be in this chair. This chair doesn't stop me
No.
doing anything.
No.
That stops me,
That's right. That's right.
but the chair doesn't. The chair's just a mode of transport.
I used to, when I was doing my course in London, we had a lecture. I don't remember old Professor Wolf. I used to be on the television a lot. He was a great inventor of things, and he came along one day and gave us a fascinating lecture. But the guy who was teaching the course, he was an architect who'd fallen down a hole on a building site, and he had lost the use of his legs, so he was a wheelchair user. And he hated gadgets, he hated the idea. And Professor Wolf was very keen that a person can be in bed and you can have all these gadgets, and if they were incontinent, the bed would clean them. If anything was wrong, the bell would sound. That was what, and the guy who was tutoring saying, look, we're human beings, we don't want to be treated like animals in a cage or a robot, we're people. And that was a message, I haven't forgotten that. The old Professor Wolf was a fabulous guy, but there was that little lack of understanding of human beings, I felt. My course,
Disabled.
the cost, everything's expensive. Anything you go into a disability shop, everything's,
It's an arm and a leg.
it's
yes.
exactly. I don't know why that has to be, but it is. Obviously it's a market they can exploit.
You're a captive market, aren't you?
Exactly.
So yeah, they're going to pay a lot.
That's right. Now you did, so I don't know if you're on camera, you told me approximately your car would cost what, approximately?
New now, you would be 60,000 plus.
60,000. And yours, Graham? New,
36,000.
you paid for, or that's the
No,
price?
36 new, we pay 22.
22. Now obviously if you haven't got that money, what happens? The states give you a car?
No way.
States give you nothing.
Nothing.
You haven't got that money, you do with it a car.
They give you a wheelchair, they give you a wheelchair.
They give me my wheelchair, I've got a bus pass.
Right. Does the adaptation scheme, they used to have a fund.
There is no adaptation scheme.
It's gone, is it?
It's gone. If you need to adapt to anything, you pay for it yourself.
Right.
And that's why I had mine done by the people who built it.
Right.
It was adapted to suit me before I picked it up and came home.
House-wise, I'm talking adaptations
Yeah.
in the home. They used to have £100,000 and
In
nobody.
the house, yeah, if it's something that's recommended as necessity by the OTs, then they will come and they will do it free of charge.
Have you had that experience have you had OTs
We've
saying?
had several OTs
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
They're all very nice people. I describe some of the ones we've seen as fluffy, very fluffy. In my opinion, they haven't got a clue. But amongst them, there is one that is just exceptional, unbelievable, exceptional. But they are under so much pressure because
Yeah, there aren't enough of them.
no, there's not enough OTs, there's not enough physiotherapists, there's not enough nurses, there's not enough doctors.
And if, the
Enough of it.
end, and if the end of the day they haven't got resources to use or spend, if they can't give you money to help.
And yet we can spend 47 million on a hospital plan that never took place.
Graham's favourite
Phil, the
subject.
47 was 2 years ago. We're now over 100.
Is it over 100
Oh, yeah.
now? There you go.
Mere petty cash.
And it's nobody's fault. Nobody's fault.
No, nobody did it. But yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one. It is a difficult one.
We better adjourn to the motor cars because I do want to get some shots.
Okay.
And otherwise this would be longer than Quo Vadis for anybody who remembers.
Let us go and examine the motor cars.
We came to see. The trouble is today the wind is very strong, so I'm recording as best I can. I'll just go around the back of this vehicle. It's quite. This is extraordinarily complicated engineering, and it's a Ford. I don't know who's adapted. We'll try and find out. It's got a sign on there, like wheelchair. But the big benefit of this one, look, side access, side entrance. In other words, this car, this is a rear entrance, and they want you to leave 2 meters behind there because if you park tight up against that, they can't get the wheelchair person out. This one, Philip, he can get in there, and the remarkable thing about this vehicle, he can drive it himself. So he can be almost have total independence. This is it. Drives in his wheelchair, wheelchair goes to the driving position, and there he is. He can come out. Now he's coming out, look.
In reverse.
In reverse, yeah. That's amazing. Hey? Does that ever catch people unawares if you stop on the pavement?
No, because the ramp on this one is only 0.7 of a metre.
Right, right,
It's a very short ramp.
right,
My suspension rises and falls using a button.
right.
So when it's low, it's almost ground level. You can see it there. It's almost ground level.
Right.
And then when I go to drive, I rise it up. And it operates on 4 airbags. There's one on each wheel, which takes it up and balances it.
Now you've had previous vehicles.
Yes,
Is this the best yet?
yes. This has the original 2 back seats.
Right.
It has the boot, as a normal car would have.
Right.
This is a 7-seater that they removed the centre 3 seats from.
You used to driving big cars, or is no problem?
Got used to it very quickly.
Did you?
A week or so.
Really, a week?
Yeah, a week.
Right. Have you ever had a situation where, because of circumstances, battery flat, something like that, you couldn't get out the car? Has that ever happened?
Yes, it has. But on this one, there is a modification been made which allows you to disengage the electric ramp and make it manual, so that you can just let the ramp roll down. Once the ramp's down, you can come out of the car, and then you just put the ramp up manually and shut the door manually.
Right.
But it's only happened once, and it was surprisingly easy once I looked up the book and found out how to do it.
Read the instructions on the tin.
Read the instructions on the tin.
That's right.
Does exactly what it says on
What
the
do
tin.
you think, Graham? Is this? I mean, we're going to look at your car in a moment. Different purpose.
It's got that facility. It's got
And the advantage as well is that because the floor is flat, the passenger seat can be removed very easily, transferred over to the driver's side,
That's the driver's.
and it becomes the driver's seat.
So that seat can move over. That seat can move over to go in the driver's position. Yes. I mean, it is very adaptable. I don't know who designed it.
It was designed by Cyrus Automotive.
Right. Well,
which is through.
is that where yours came from?
Phil kindly told us about it.
Right. Because obviously, if you want to talk about, I'd like to know the cost implications. Because these
Cost
are,
is massive over here because you get no help
right.
at all in Jersey. In the UK, you get up to 50% of the
Would
cost
they?
help.
And is that a gift? 50% as a gift, or what's that?
Well, what they do, I believe, is they take your Motability allowance off you for transport
Right.
if they give you the big chunk off the car, and then you pay the other. But that one, when I bought it, was a demonstrator. That one new now is 59,000. I got it for 42.
Because we looked at the Motability scheme for somebody years ago, and of course it didn't operate. It wasn't extended.
No, and it still isn't.
It's still not,
There's no help at all here.
which is a bit tragic. Really.
The only thing you get is your GST back. I was allowed to claim the GST
But
back.
somebody was claiming the other day they couldn't even get that because the vehicle wasn't purpose made or something.
That's right, it has to be purpose built for disability.
That's right.
What
But
about
even though
what about VRD or VRD? Did you have to pay that, Phil?
What's that?
Well, it's another.
emissions, is that emissions?
Yeah.
Emissions.
No, because this one has, I can't remember the name of it, but there's an additive goes as a separate tank that you fill up,
Okay.
and that takes the readings to below even a petrol car. So it's very, very economical, and you don't hit that heavy rate that you get with the others. I don't have that.
Good.
It's
So
a
I was-
beautiful sunny day today, but that's the plus side. On the downside, it's very windy, and I got so much glare from the sun, I can't see a picture that I'm taking. So if this doesn't come out very well,
We'll redo it.
well, we redo it. That's very good of you. Or just allow for my incompetence. That's it.
Shall we
you
go
can do
inside
it
now,
whichever
Michael?
way
But there's
you
no wind and
prefer.
no. Squat a little bit, Michael.
I'm all right, don't worry. I can't squat a bit because I can't bend me back. You see, this is
We'll get back up again. So we come straight up here.
right,
I would normally come to about here,
right.
then I turn, and the only thing that connects the car is this block here.
Right.
In the centre.
So that goes in
You have to line that up reasonable carefully.
reasonably straight. That's me in and locked in.
Crikey.
Real.
That makes it simple, doesn't it?
That's me in and locked in. I would just put the normal seat belt
You have to
on
put it
now.
on as well, do you? You have to wear that.
Yep, I wear that. And I would drop this seat down a bit. So that you can open it now. I would drop this wheelchair so that my legs are clear
Right,
of the steering wheel,
right, okay.
and that's me now in the
It's a
position
very
to
small,
drive.
Will, is that a especially small one or is that?
No, that's standard size for this car.
Oh, right,
All my controls are here or here.
right, right.
I have a red button that closes the back door.
Right,
I've got a green button that opens the door.
right,
I've got a parking, that's for my handbrake.
right,
And that one adjusts the height of my suspension.
right.
So when I start the car, I'll raise the suspension, you'll watch the car go up.
Right, okay.
Very clever.
That seems to be the thing now, a pneumatic or a system, hydraulics or whatever it is.
It's pneumatic, it's air.
It's air, is it?
It's air operated, yes. And it's done with 4 airbags, the same as you would have in the car. If you had an accident, the airbag pops. I have 4 of them underneath the car, which lift each
I
side.
looked at an airbag to put as a cushion in the bath so I can put it in flat. They do sell them, but
They do.
they're 500 quid to buy one.
Oh yeah, these ones are £2,000 each.
Really? See, this is the...
8 grand straight away.
£8,000 straight away before you
it's better
start.
than a trip to wherever it is, Las Vegas, isn't it? The money you spend on these
Yep.
is quite frightening, really.
And then I have a release button here, which allows me to release the car,
Right,
the wheelchair from the
right.
system.
Amazing, isn't it? Bloody is amazing.
Back to there,
Amazing.
and that's me away again.
That's clever, eh?
And you get used to where you need to be to come out.
Right. Right, this is Graham's car, which is a Volkswagen what?
Volkswagen Caddy. You want to
Caddy.
take, Mike? You want to take this going up
Hang
and
on
down?
a moment. And he has, it has been adapted. They don't produce these at the factory. they have to be adapted. And of course, this has got all sorts of special features. Come on, Graham, let's see it perform.
But Rome wasn't built
You
in
see,
a day, Professor Dunn.
I didn't see it go down very much.
We weren't looking.
I was.
They go down.
It did. So the gate comes up. That goes up, and the ramp comes down.
Okay.
Now for Graham, him being the driver, his passenger has to drive in there with a manual wheelchair. Presumably you could do it with an electric motorised wheelchair. You can do it. A bit of a wiggle, you have to do a bit of a wiggle. But obviously it's, for a lot of people, they go out in an adapted car, which is just rear access and you're sitting in the back and it looks like a little ice cream van. Some people don't like that. They feel as though they're on show. This, you're sitting in the front, you're a passenger like anybody else, and you don't feel as though you're on show. So it has advantages. The only trouble is, from my point, I couldn't drive it, it's too big for me. What else have you got up front? What else do you do, Biff? What controls have you got from the front?
Well, normal
It's
control.
just
It's automatic.
right,
It's diesel,
right.
and it goes very well. It's second hand. It's 5 years old.
And you had to import it.
Yes.
And was that easy peasy?
No, it was very difficult because of the paperwork involved. When I went to customs, they said customs don't exist anymore.
Right.
They have no office. They're all working from home.
Really?
So I said, which home do I go to? DVS were very helpful.
Right. Much the same for you? Helpful?
Very helpful, yes. And I had to go to DVS and have the vehicle inspected as well.
Did they charge you for that? For the
Yes, they
inspection?
charge you for that.
Right.
That was something along the lines of about £100, I
Is
think.
it? Right. Now, Graham's a diesel, your car's what?
Mine's a diesel as well.
Now, what are you going to do when they ban all diesels?
They're never going to ban all diesels.
You
They
don't think so?
can't. No, they
Well, they
can't.
recommended that we should buy diesels, didn't they, a few years ago? So
Yeah, they will never ban diesels. They might ban the making of new diesels,
Right.
but they won't get rid of old ones for another 30 years, and by then I'll have stopped driving.
Right.
So it won't be such a big issue.
Right, but now you say you can drive. Of course, a lot of people in your circumstances can't drive. They're unable to drive.
That's right.
And they've got to be suitable vehicles for them. You can't rely on the bus service all
Well,
the
they
time.
will need to be battery. They will need to be done on batteries,
Right, okay.
but that will limit where you can go.
Right.
Because something as big as this on batteries, you'd be lucky if you could get 100 miles on a charge.
Well, of course, in Jersey, we're fortunate 9 to 5.
Yeah,
don't
doesn't matter.
As long as you've got somewhere to charge
Yeah.
it. If you're living on the street with no such facility, or
Well, that's your next issue, yes.
Is
Where
it?
do you recharge?
that's right. I mean, I'm at Le Marais, as it was called. They changed the name.
Yes, I used to be in Le Benefice.
Right, did you? Well, there's no facility there for hundreds of tenants.
No.
But if they got electric cars or electric bikes,
They would need to take them to somewhere like Sand Street Car Park or wherever and charge there.
let's have a little look. Do me the demonstration with yours again. if
Hang
you
on,
can.
Michael, just want to do
What
the.
do you want
You go look at what he's showing you.
I will do as I'm told.
Just in here, look. Lovebay's got some. She's got her little tray to put her.
Oh, right, that doesn't chop. It's a bit like an old Morgan three-wheeler. That I was always afraid you're going to cut your head off if the car stops suddenly.
That's so she can have her bacon rolls on a Thursday.
Very
and a
good.
Cup of coffee.
Very good. And where does that? You have to. Oh, that attach that. Do you physically
Just,
put
no,
that
you
on?
just put it. Just put
When
it.
the bacon rolls arrive nice and hot, that's where they go.
Yep.
No, I mean, it is very good. It is very good.
Or you could even put a little, if you want a puzzle to do there, you know,
A puzzle.
or read the Evening Post.
Do a jigsaw puzzle and you go over
You could use.
you
You
go
could
over-
use that to write
you
on.
go over
write
a
letter
bump
to
in the road and they all
you could
fall
use
apart.
that to write a letter to the editor.
You could do that.